Okay, let's get this party started. I am going to put in the chat our agenda for today for the April Traction REIA meeting. I'm also including a link to our newsletter. This is the April newsletter where you will find what's happening at Traction. You're going to have information about our sponsors, the upcoming events, information about our guest speaker, Isabelle. So there's a lot of good things on that Traction newsletter. So I know today you were probably expecting this guy. If I can switch, if I can go on the next slide. There you go. Okay, you were probably expecting this guy. Well, this guy is my lovely husband, and he is in Detroit right now, teaching the REIA in Detroit about real estate, about total traction, about wholesaling, marketing, negotiation. So that's why he couldn't be with us. So today, lucky you have me. My name is Carolina Zeeb, for the ones that have never ever met me or heard my lovely voice. The accent is from Colombia. So I will take votes now if you want to switch the meeting to Spanish. Will that be okay? I think maybe like 10% of you will understand me, but it's okay. So that's me, Carolina. If you call me Caroline, Carolina, Caroline, I will not be offended, but it's pronounced Carolina. I always say spell like Carolina, north or south. You choose which one, north or south. And I've been investing in real estate since 2003. I moved to the US in 2001, and then I got a job. Like most of you, I started with a 9 to 5, and then very soon I got really tired of it. I got especially tired of my boss, and I didn't want to stay there. So I started investing in real estate because of my husband. He was just starting with wholesaling, so he explained how everything worked, and it sounded too good to be true. So then I decided to do it. I started my marketing, my negotiation, and I got my first deal. I remember I made almost 30 grand on my first deal. It was a wholesale deal because at the time I didn't have money. I didn't have a credit. I didn't have a real estate license. I didn't have any experience. So wholesaling was the technique that got me started. And then that was it. 2003, I made my first deal. By 2005, I was able to quit my job. And then I've been doing this since 2005. I've done tons of renovations, wholesaling, subject to assignments. I have done a lot, but still my favorite part of every real estate transaction is the marketing and the negotiation. I love talking to motivated sellers, anybody that wants to sell their house, anybody that needs to sell their house, anybody that must sell their house to solve a problem. I love it. I love doing that. And I am a very happy entrepreneur, small business owner, real estate investor, property owner, however you want to label me. And then Traction has been the core of it all. It has offered me networking opportunities, all the knowledge, all the connections, everything that I need to know about real estate is here. And that is our goal, to give you all the tools, resources, networking, motivation, and fun and encouragement for you to either start your real estate business or to take it to the next level. Okay? So that's what Traction is here for. And that is my goal for today. Oh, scary disclaimer. Actually, I like my new graphic. Don't you guys like the new graphic? I love it. I like this new design. Again, this was made by somebody that knows a bit more than me PowerPoint. So I hired that person and they made it beautiful. Isn't that the beauty of recognizing what you're good at and then delegating to others what they're good at? So the disclaimer is very simple. We're going to be talking about real estate. We're going to be talking about money, deals. So what this is asking you is to be an adult. Just do your own due diligence. And we're a professional association, so that's why we also have to have the disclaimer. That was it. It didn't hurt, right? Okay. If your neighbor, your coworkers, your family, your friends, they don't know where to start in real estate, just let them know who we are. Let them know that Traction exists, that they have all these resources, a lot of them free, available to anybody. to start in real estate. We have podcasts, we have YouTube channels, we have tons of articles, interviews that will get you started. And then we also have monthly meetings, monthly events that will support you throughout this amazing journey. If you haven't yet, please join our Facebook group. It's a really cool way to stay connected. And this is hosted by Traction. And what we like is for people to interact, share deals, share thoughts, knowledge, maybe recommendations. Somebody's looking for a roofer, somebody's looking for a good title company. This is the place. And we always have this slide, even on our in-person events. Sometimes in person, there are people at the back of the room trying to get you to buy things or try to get you to do, oh, I can get a credit on you and I can clean your credit or offer you loans. Just be aware of it. And sometimes online, they've managed a way to do it. So just be aware. The only people that we endorse are the ones that we promote. If you don't hear about a company or a person, we're not supporting them. Everybody that is here is right now. We're gonna see who's talking. Ooh, somebody's talking on the phone. Mute. Ooh, the power of muting. Okay, I think I got that person mute. Okay. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, this is it. If you go to tomz.com, that's where you'll find it. You can listen to it on your car, in the gym, wherever you go. Really cool. Especially go to, I forgot which season or which episode, but it's the name of the episode is Press 2 for Spanish. And that's an interview that Tom did with me. So start with that one. Okay. Also, Tom has this really cool book called How to Correctly Flip Houses for a Profit. If you haven't, you can get it on Amazon, order it, and you can get it tomorrow. This is our app that will keep you updated on what's going on with Traction. You can scan the QR code or just go to tractionrea.com/app. I believe. If not, just go to tractionrea.com and you'll see it. And if at any point during the this meeting you have any questions, just feel free to message me directly, okay? And I will always be able to help you. I always like to say thank you to our fantastic staff, volunteers, Crystal, Dwayne, Claude, Jesse, and Ginny. We appreciate everything you do for Traction. I love this photo. We took it last December at the Home Depot Design Center in Washington, D.C. And again, this is a family. This is who we are. We are real. We're real people. We're not a call center somewhere in the West Coast. No, this is us, Traction REIA, real people. If this is the first time you join us and you're wondering who's Traction, well, we are the only approved chapter for the National Real Estate Association, and that covers the area of DC, Northern Virginia, and Southern Maryland. Washington, DC has been a Traction REIA chapter for over 15 years, and then 3 years ago, Tom and I, made the decision to move to Florida, and we found Sarasota, and we started Traction here in Sarasota and Tampa. And during those years, after COVID, there was a chance to expand Traction online. So that's why some of you are joining us from other states. So we welcome everybody here to Traction, to our family. So now you know that we are approved. You got the approved stamp. I like to brag about this one for a bit because every year we go to a National REIA mid-year convention. We learn, they teach us how to be better for our members. They also keep us updated on legislation and how we can help you. There's a crucial reason to join Traction as well. Part of your dues, your annual dues, go to lobbying efforts, goes to making sure that crazy laws that affect us as investors will not kill us. At least we can be prepared. We will go fight for you. Recently, a few months ago, it was last year in Maryland, they were trying to pass a legislation to block wholesalers, meaning we could not operate in Maryland. And we activated all our connections, our lobbying efforts, and we were literally able to stop that bill from from going, because that all over the US, they're always trying to punch us. And I don't understand why. I think it's because they still see some of the investor like the mean investor, the mean landlord, where we're amazing people. We change neighborhoods, we help people. So that's another reason to join Traction REIA. Part of your dues are going to that effort. So this is us getting the award of the Award of Excellence. So we're really, really proud. And guess what? In the past few years, we have won more awards. And I always joke, like, we didn't Photoshop and just took 15, 20 photos now. These are all real with different national REIA presidents. So we're really happy about those, and that'll help you maintain our REIA as a 5-star REIA. How about if we introduce some of our sponsors? Let's see, who do I have first? Clear Sky. Hey, Sam, I see you.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Thanks for having us. Yes, Clear Sky, we're a hard money lender. We are lending in Virginia, Maryland, DC, Florida, and we're here to support you if you have a fix and flip opportunity that comes up, if you need a bridge loan, if you need to fix it and get it into a DSCR loan, which we can discuss what those are later. We can help you with the acquisition part of it. We've been working with Carolina and Tom for, I don't know, it must be going on 10 years now. So it's always rewarding. And a lot of these folks I recognize out here we've worked with before as well. So thank you for having
right
us.
back at you, Sam. You guys have given us money if a loan or it's needed. And working with you has been fantastic, not only as a sponsor of Traction, but as a client of yours. So and that's why I always say that Traction is a family. If we need something, you guys are there. So thank you so much,
that,
Sam. And I'll be putting your contact information shortly on the chat, or if you want to put it there, Sam, either way, I'll make sure you put it. And their information is always on our website and also in our newsletter. Thank you, Sam. Okay, who do I have next in my presentation? Okay, we have Specialized Trust Company. They are an IRA provider. You can go with them if you need to set up your Roth IRA, your 401k. They really know what they're doing. They understand how investors work. And again, we have used it personally. If you don't know about this amazing tax strategy and how to make real estate deals inside your Roth IRA tax-free, please go to our website. That's specialisttrustcompany.com. Let them know that you came because of Traction, and they will help you set up your Roth. And they are fantastic because they know how real estate deals are done inside Roth IRAs. Claude, are you able to unmute? If not, I can have you later. Claude, are you there? I know he was in the car. It's okay.
Yes, I can. I can unmute. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm still listening to you. I'm here even though you can't see me. I will be home at 6:58, and I get online, see me for real. Claude Labby, Realty for Your Busy Life. I do real estate in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. I tend to focus on investors and tend to think about profits in every sort of different way via real estate.
Awesome. Thank you, Claude, so much. And Claude is going to be doing our market update very soon. So that was Claude. I'll put his information as well. Accurate. I know Dave. Dave, where are you? I saw you somewhere. Dave.
I'm here.
Hello.
I couldn't find my unmute button.
Is your video on?
My video is on. I hope you can see me.
My name
is, you can't see me, Carolina?
Hold on. I have too many.
I'll keep talking until I show up on the top of your screen.
Okay.
There you go. No? So for those of you who don't know me, my name is David Gorenberg. I'm a recovering attorney. Accruit is a national 1031 exchange provider. We're also a national provider authorized or for all of REIA. So for REIA members, we provide a discount if you use our services for your next 1031 exchange. But more importantly, let me tell you why Accruit is where you want to come for your 1031 exchange. We have 5 staff attorneys. Combined, we have well over 100 years of 1031 exchange experience. So there is no situation that you can get yourself into in a 1031 exchange that we haven't seen before. On top of that, we have a $50 million fidelity bond, a $25 million E&O policy, and a $15 million cyber liability policy. So your money is as safe here as it's ever going to be when you do your 1031 exchange. And if you have questions, I do no charge consultation. So anytime you want to have a question, give me a shout. I'm happy to help.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dave. I got a few questions in the chat. I have people that are brand new. Can you quickly say what a 1031 exchange is? So if somebody
100%.
just starting, they can understand the concept.
Absolutely. So a 1031 exchange is essentially playing Monopoly with real property and real money. And when you sell Pennsylvania Avenue, you would otherwise have to pay capital gains tax on your profits. So we help you sell Pennsylvania Avenue and buy Boardwalk without having to pay the capital gains tax on the profits from Pennsylvania Avenue.
Fantastic.
Very strict rules from the IRS, and we help you navigate those rules so that you don't end up losing your hair like I did.
But that is exactly why you're here. I want people to understand that there is a technique, 1031 exchange, and there will be a point in your real estate investing career that you might need it. So I want you to know who to go to and how to use it. So thank you so much, Dave, for being here. And I'll put your contact information on the chat, or you can also put it. But that's David for you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carolina.
Okay, let's see. Next, we have Deal Machine, one of our favorite sponsors. Deal Machine is a really cool app and software that will help you find leads and deals anywhere in the US. So that doesn't matter where you are. So I want you to go to tractionrea.com/dealmachine and do a 7-day free trial. That way you'll be able to see how it works, how it can help you. And guess what? Next month in May, we have Matt, who's gonna walk you through how Deal Machine works. And we're also gonna do a challenge, an online challenge. So this is gonna be really cool. So I want you to know that there is a tool here to get more leads, to get more deals that is available anywhere in the US, tractionrea.com Deal Machine. And I will put that information in the chat as well. Okay. We come to this part of the program where we ask a few, it could be a member, it could be a first-time attendee, to share a success story with us. So if any, it could be from, I closed my first deal, I closed my 100th deal and I made a lot of money, or I sent out my first batch of postcards, or I did my first driving for deals. It could be anything. Just raise your hand and I'll unmute you if you want to share a success story. And don't be shy. We're not going to bite. Raise your hand either physically or with the little, or go ahead and unmute if you have a success story. Don't be shy. I know Claude has a few deals for us that he has on the line.
Hey, Carolina, Horace.
Hey, Horace. Let me add you. Tell us about your success deal.
Well, my success right now is back down in Petersburg. This year I did not do I have not done any burrs this year as yet, but I've started construction, a new construction. So I'm about halfway done. Should be completed in about 2 months. Bill price 170, ARV 250, between 240 and 250. So I should be smiling at the end in the next couple of months.
Good job. Good job, Horace. Thank you so much for sharing.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, I have Frank, and then David, and then Roxanne. Oh, I love it. I love that you all raise your hand. I'm just gonna add a spotlight to all of you, and then I'm gonna, let's see. Okay, Frank and Lori, go ahead. Yep. Tell us your success story.
Can you hear us okay?
Yes.
Okay. Today we just closed on our first, or property that we're going to do as a rental through our IRA. So I did 90% through our traditional and 10% through our Roth. Roth wasn't big enough to do it all on its own, so we'll work through it this way. It's a 3-bedroom house with a 2-bedroom detached garage. We're going to make 2 units out of it and rent 2 spaces. Take us about 4 weeks before we could get it ready for renters.
Woo-hoo! Congratulations! Great job, guys. So proud of you. Fantastic. Keep it going. Are you marketing still and getting more leads coming in?
Yes, I'm sending out, I'm working with Deal Machine and have that on automatic a notification
Awesome.
to send out those postcards.
We got the
Congratulations, guys.
yeah, we
Good
got
job,
the lead
good
on
job.
this from our truck magnets.
Awesome. Excellent, excellent. I want to hear more stories next month from you guys, okay?
Yep.
Thank you guys for sharing. Okay, David Hayes, go ahead.
Hey, Carolina, how are you today?
Good.
Good. My story is, it's, I guess you would call it a success story. Over the last 4 months, we have been approached by other people who have money to see if they wanted to, if I could use their money in a deal.
No.
So, and that's
I'm
been
so
like,
sorry, David, that somebody's approaching you with money. I'm so sorry.
yeah, I know. Look, and I mean, I didn't reach out to them. One person had 50,000, one was 10,000, and one was 20,000. So, you know, it's rough out here, but somebody has to be able to accept it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dave, for sharing. And we always love to hear your success. Thank you. And I'll take one more. Roxanne, I know you were there. Raise your hand.
Hi, Carolina.
There you go.
Great.
I don't see you, but I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. My success story is I did my first fix and flip, and I'm also a realtor, so I made $60K as well as a commission. And I used the techniques Tom talked about with the So that's my success story.
Sorry, some people might not know what you're talking about. Are you talking about the flinch, the verbal flinch?
Yes, the verbal flinch.
Okay. So Tom's negotiation, one of Tom's favorite negotiation techniques is the flinch. Anytime anybody says any number, you react like somebody has punched you. So what she's talking about is she used the flinch. Let's say, how much do you want for this house? 100,000, and you do, oh, that's too much, or oh, and they immediately drop, and that's what she used. So congrats, Roxanne. Congratulations. A lot of love for you. Congratulations. I love listening to all these amazing stories. Okay, I'm gonna leave more stories for next month because I gotta keep going. I know Claude has some deals. This section is called Deal Makers. This is for Traction REIA members only. This is not to offer any services, no solicitation. This is purely real estate related. We're not selling Amway. Only me, I'm the only one that can sell Colombian coffee. That's the only thing allowed, but the rest is real estate. So, Claude, are you able to unmute and tell us about your deals? If not, if you're driving home, then don't worry, Claude. I can get back to you when you do the market update. Thank you. Oh my God. Okay. One more sponsor and then we'll keep the party going. Home Depot. They have been an amazing sponsor of Traction for many, many years since the beginning. I'm going to tell you why you need to go shop at the Home Depot more often. These are our benefits. 20% off liquid paint, 10% of cabinets, 2% cash back. That's beautiful, of whatever you spend. Could be paint, could be drywall, could be anything that you buy at the Home Depot. If you renovate a house, you get 2% cash back. And then in general, you're gonna have better discounts as a group because you're part of Traction, the group that sells 40 million a year, or that buys 40 million a year at the Home Depot. They're gonna look at you completely different. So these are our exclusive member benefits. This is Traction REIA Association members that are current on their dues. So this is my son, Dominic. He was very little, and I always say he was not hurt during this photo, but he's here to remind you, have you registered for the rebate? It's a very simple process that you have to do on the Pro Extra side to make sure that you're getting your rebate. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry. Just go to the members only website and you go Home Depot rebate, because if maybe you don't understand my accent, you can understand something written in plain English, right? And just follow the steps. And to get the 20% of paint, I want you to log in into your Pro Extra account directly. Go log in on the app or online. You should have this little thing that says Gold Paint Rewards, meaning you're getting 20% every time you shop. Doesn't matter if you buy 1 gallon or 20 gallons. Please check that for me. And I'm going to ask you a very quick question. Will you or did you receive your rebate? In fact, you should have received your rebate by now for the July-December 2023 period. You should have received that 2% back. If you haven't, ask yourself these 3 questions before you email me. Is your REIA membership current? And I went back and I don't know how do I go back? Back. Man, how do I go back? There you go. There you go. Is your Traction REIA membership active? Did you register all your forms of payment? And did you enter the special access code to the Pro Extra account? If you answer yes to those and you did not get your rebate, please email me and I'll figure out what happened. But if you joined Traction REIA recently, make sure you register because you have to start accruing all your purchases. Sounds good? We have other benefits for you, Rent Perfect, FedEx. I always say whatever you save here, for example, Office Depot, use it for marketing. But we have a nice package of benefits and discounts that you can start using right now. FedEx as well. You get discounts here, so please use it. Another awesome reward is every time you attend a meeting, to be a meeting in DC, Sarasota, online, in person, you will get a stamp. So at the end of tonight, I'll give you a digital stamp. Once you attend 10 events, you get either 3 months of free membership, a free entry to a Saturday program, or a $50 gift card. So if at any point in the month you get 10, take a photo, email it to me, and you can cash in your reward. Sounds good? And if you have not joined the association yet, I think you have enough information to make a decision. It's a yes or no. Yes, I like Traction, I trust them, and I want to be a member. This is the website, tractionreia.com/join, and then you select individual, couples, or a business. And you immediately get access to the website and all the benefits. We have a new format for 2024 for the ones that don't know this. We are doing monthly online events, so anybody, anywhere can join us. And the next one that we have is May 9th. We're going to do it a week earlier than normal. And Matt is going to be our guest speaker. So it's going to be something very similar to today's meeting. And we're also going to have a 7-day challenge, 7-day driving for deals. So that's the next one online that we have. And we are doing beer and real estate in both DC and Sarasota. The next one is June 20th at both locations, DC and Sarasota. They happen at the same time. And then I do one, Tom will do the other one, and then we joke which one was best. So just go to the one that I'm hosting. Sounds good? And then in September, we have another one. If you have not been to any of our in-person events, this is a very quick video. It's less than 50 seconds, and it's going to show you what a beer and real estate gathering is. I don't know if you hear the sound, but it has really cool music. Photos of amazing people. networking, meeting, doing deals, having fun, having a beer. This is DC. And of course, this is Sarasota. So you can go to both, but in both you'll see amazing people having fun. We do tons of raffles as well. We raffle memberships, gift cards. So you get the idea, right? Okay, so that's the beer and real estate. Well, it's going to stop it. I'm going to the next slide. Okay. And now, Claude, are you ready to rumble?
I am.
Hold on. Could you put Claude at a spotlight? And then Claude. Oh, we see your chair. I love it.
Well, no, it tells you I'm home.
Hold on,
So-
Claude. I'm gonna put your presentation right here, and then I'm gonna share a screen, okay?
Perfect. And I know you asked for deals without you couldn't hear me.
Yeah,
But
don't worry.
so I have a piece of land, a vacant lot, just about 1,100 square feet in Northeast DC, and it went for $100,000. Vacant,
Ooh.
ready to build on the street.
Awesome. Okay,
So-
I'll be ready. I'll be your manual mouse.
Okay. And so, Dean, I guess every month we talked about, we have charts, we have data, we talked about the market. But this month I want to talk to you about what's happening with the realtor world that we all live in, because all of us, unless you're wholesaling, you're going to be working with a realtor in some fashion. So you should know what's going on in the realtor you love's world. Next slide, Charlena. Yeah. I don't see anything changing. I'm not sure if you do. I like that. And so these are my thoughts and opinions. And I suspect half of you have thoughts, which are the last slide as well. Let's continue one more slide, Carolina. This is evolving fairly quickly, but let's understand how we got here. In the 1990s, there was demands made because in the 90s, before any of us were probably in real estate, there were sellers' representatives, listing agents, but that was it, no one else. And so in the 1990s, there was so much pressure on the industry that finally they started doing buyer agents as well. And buyer agents were paid by the seller, but the buyer agent would represent the buyer. Therefore, the buyer and the seller had a more equal footing on which to negotiate the real estate purchase and sales process. So in the 1990s, we moved to this new world where everything is wonderful because everyone has representation. Next slide, please. And so in the 2020 timeframe, people decided that, you know what, because the seller pays the buyer's agent and the seller agent has effectively set that commission up, you could argue that it's anti-competitive and there's a monopoly. And some of us would argue that's just the market, because if the market changes, then the commissions change. Nonetheless, the case was made that because of this effective monopoly, this was antitrust. And so in Missouri, two people made a claim against the realtors and the National Association of Realtors, and they won. And so what happens in Missouri then, of course, is now spreading to the rest of the country. So now we have a big problem, because now we realize that, gee, we can no longer have buyer agents. Next slide, please. And so if you think of the people who are involved here, you can probably understand how I feel about the NAR, even though I'm a member of the NAR. The NAR said, you know, rather than continue to let this virus spread and infect us, let's just come up with a solution, a settlement. And the settlement will protect some people. And so the settlement will protect the National Association of Realtors. The settlement will protect the 1 million plus realtors who are members of NAR. The settlement will protect all state and local realtor associations. And the settlement will protect all multiple listing services, which are the databases that we all post our listings on. And the settlements will protect any brokerage that does 2 billion or less in residential sales in 2022. And so the NAR sought to protect some of its own, if you will, including people like myself. Next slide, please. And so, yeah. So what happened? Well, we all said that, now understand this is proposed settlement that should take effect in July 2024. And this world that we're moving to, I expect, whether it be 6 months or 6 years, I expect that we'll be in a new reality. So in 1990, you had sellers agents and buyer agents were on their own. And in the new world, in the future, you'll have buyer agents and seller agents, and buyers will pay their agents and sellers will pay their agents. But we're not there yet. To get there, we've got to go through this part. And this part is just really ugly and uncomfortable and uncertain. But right now, step one is in July. We're going to get to a new world that says that, guess what? Sellers are able to pay buyer agents, but they can't actually market that on the MLS. And so the MLS, which was the system we'd all devised to be the database to share information, we can now share the home is for sale. We can share the home's price, but we can't share if we're actually going to be offering the buyer agent any compensation. And so it loses some of its value. Next slide, please. And so what happens to the buyer, right? So the buyer will now, as July moving forward, will now need to negotiate with their realtor what the realtor's commission will be. In today and in the past 20 years, the buyer's agent would always say, you know what, the commission is per the MLS, usually 2.5 to 3%, and the seller will pay that. Moving forward, it's going to be, well, it's going to be whatever we can agree to. And by the way, you, Mr. Buyer, got to pay that. And so the buyer will need to negotiate with the buyer agent will need to negotiate with every buyer. And I would be less than honest if I said that this was being done currently. A lot of buyers right now don't even talk about this. And that is a disservice to buyers, because ultimately the buyer is the source of the money that goes to the seller, and the seller pays the buyer's agent, but the buyer really is the source of the money. And buyer agents tend to skim over that. I don't think that's helped anybody. But moving forward, a buyer agent will not be able to show a home without a signed buyer agreement where the buyer says, I'm going to pay you X dollars to show me this house, to sell me this house. Next slide, please. And so what happens to the buyers? Well, the buyers, some of you who've flipped homes and who've sold homes understand that buyers, especially first-time buyers, have to go to their seat cushions to get money for that first home for closing costs and everything else. And a lot of these buyers also will use FHA and VA loans being 100% mortgage for military veterans. And so a lot of buyers really don't have that extra 2-3% to pay the buyer agent, and therefore they're going to be realize that they have to go in the marketplace without an agent, which they can do today. But moving forward, they'll be able to do that as well. If they did it today without an agent, the seller agent would get paid double to take care of them. Moving forward, that's not going to be quite the same case. Next slide, please. Potential impacts on sellers. Well, the seller will no longer be responsible for paying buyer agent commissions. The seller can, but is no longer obligated to. And I believe 2 weeks ago, the White House said, well, this is great because now home prices will go down because sellers not paying these junk fees for these realtors. Any of you here on the call with me, do you really believe that sellers are going to drop their price on July 1st because they don't have to pay buyer agents? I don't think so. And so what's going to happen is that prices of homes are going to be based on supply, demand, mortgage rates, not realtors. And I would argue that some buyers will be hurt by this because they will no longer have representation. Next slide, please. And today in Virginia, DC, and Maryland, as a buyer or a seller, you can choose what level of service you want. And there are plenty of agents and plenty of firms who offer different prices, different commission rates based on what you want. If you want full-fledged marketing, that's great. That's been the Lundy in Virginia for a good 10, 12 years, I think, which is why I highlight Virginia. They're way in the front about this. But I believe ultimately whoever pays for the realtor will be taken care of. And if a buyer goes into a home purchase without an agent, I do think they'll be harmed, because they don't know what they don't know, and they'll be just left open to the market and to the seller. And I can't see how that's good. To me, this feels like we're going back to from where we were in 1990. Next slide, please. And so I don't want to use too much more time. I think you probably already understand that in my mind, this protected the NAR and not much else. And the lawyers who made money out of this one in every other state they're going to get through. Next slide. Lawyers will do well. There are plenty of realtors who are going to do well here. I think the newer realtors will have a rough time. And yeah, next slide will show you the sellers are the buyers will have a rough time as well. The good realtors do well. Losers will be first-time buyers. Just to me, that's really where it's going to hurt. And some of these firms here, like Home Services of America, they are not covered by this because their sales were above two billion, and so they've got to go off on their own, make their own thing. People like Compass have already made their own deals. And mortgages, we'll talk about that. I think in the next slide we talk about that. We'll take this for a second. The fact is that, yes, if you think about it, buyer agents will no longer get commissions from the sellers. But the fact is, every seller who wants to will be able to offer commissions on their websites and within their company. And so a buyer agent will have to call every agent and say, are you paying a commission? And if so, how much is it? It will not be public, will not be to me. That's just not clear. The visibility we had will be gone. Again, that helps, I think, hurts consumers, doesn't help anybody else. So the call field goes away. The whole point for the MLS is half of it now is gone. Yeah, it's going to just be ugly as we get through the transition until sellers understand they need to pay buyer agents, until buyers understand they need to get agents that will work for them. Next slide, please. I think we're going to go back to mortgages now. I really want to talk about mortgages, don't I? No, what's required, it has to be in writing. I think this was a big failure. Buyer agents were not getting their buyer agencies signed to say, I represent you, Mr. Buyer. And that has to change. At this point, you will not be able to get into a home without the buyer agency being shown. Next slide. Yeah, there are plenty of commissions are still negotiable. There are plenty of full service and low service firms out there, and the market will work. Laws of economics are volatile, will always change, but the market ultimately sorts this stuff out. Now, here's my mortgage slide, right? Coming up, I'm sure. Yes, as of yesterday. See, the reason that FHA and VA can't do what they want to do is because federal mortgage regulations, I'm sure the lenders here can tell me more about this, prohibit lenders from paying certain fees. So yesterday, Fannie Mae, which does a lot of these FHA and mortgages, conventional mortgages across the US, has come back and said, guess what? You can actually slide up from between 2 to 9% of the purchase price can be part of your mortgage. And so if you buy a home for $500,000, you can actually get a mortgage for, assuming you can actually use some of that money to pay your buyer agent. That's a big thing. It has to be, once that's ironed out, once you can actually roll in your buyer agent commissions into the mortgage, that will ease a lot of the pain for the buyer agents and the buyers. I believe that would be the last slide. Next slide will be the sources of this information. This is true today. I suspect in 2 weeks this will be out of date, but this is where we're going. Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you so much, Claude. And that's why we have you here at Traction, so you can explain all the things that are happening. So thank you so much, Claude, for that awesome market update. If you want to see the slides, they will be posted on the Traction REIA website under the member area. And if you have any questions for Claude, feel free to reach out to him directly. I put on the chat all the Traction REIA sponsors, including Claude's information. So go ahead and check the chat and reach out to them directly. And now we are going to get to the last part of our meeting, but maybe the most important one, because we have our guest speaker. And I'm going to do a very quick introduction to Isabelle. Isabelle, if you're there.
I'm here.
Hello. Hold on. I have too many buttons here. Hold on. Let me find you. And then I'm gonna add the spotlight. Awesome. Hello. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here with you guys.
I know. I haven't seen you in a while. I think I saw you at the last mid-year. Was it 2 years ago?
2 years ago,
Or
yeah.
was it Milwaukee? I forgot. But I remember seeing you there, and I was so glad to see you. And some of my members, some of our attendees today do know about residential assisted living. Some people might have heard a bit, but don't understand. And some people have no idea who you are and
I
what
love
this
it.
is all about. So before I give you the stage, I just wanted to share a photo with you. See if I can grab it here.
Oh, I love this.
This is the first time that we had Jean at Traction. This is going back a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I was so lucky to have met your dad. I remember the first time I met him, probably was one of mid-years, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago. And it was fantastic the way he explained, because at that point, I didn't know about residential assisted living. I didn't know. All I knew was wholesaling, renovation, subject to, right? And then he spoke and made it so simple and made it, oh, I get it. And then, of course, I was like, come on, Jean, you have to come to Traction. Please, please, please. Like, no, 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 I'm too busy. And the very Colombian in me kept pushing until I finally got Jean to come back to Traction. I think he came twice, and we also did an online. So for the ones who were not lucky enough to have met Jean, he was amazing. He's, I know, in heaven looking down at us. But what I love about Raul and you was that he left an amazing legacy, and who better than you to continue the legacy. So thank you so much, Isabelle, for being here. And then I'm gonna stop sharing. I just wanted to share that photo because I have great memories with Jean.
I love it.
I'm not gonna talk anymore. Isabelle, just tell us some rules. I usually ask people to hold on questions at the end, but how would you like them to behave? Because I can be really good. I can be a good Colombian cop and put them in.
I love it. You know what? Probably questions at the end, because I'll probably answer most of them throughout. But if something's burning on your mind and you can't not think about it, write it in the chat. I'll just answer them all at the end. So they can feel free to write, but we'll go ahead and go through them all at the end.
Awesome. Okay. So if you want to share your screen,
I will.
Go ahead. Awesome. Okay,
There we
everybody.
go.
This is the official presentation. They are all yours, Isabelle.
Fabulous. This was a really good meeting. You guys have a lot of great interaction and so much information that's already been given. So hopefully you guys have learned a lot, and this will just be the cherry on top for your evening here. And bear with me, I lost my voice this week. It's just coming back, so I apologize. I've got my water ready to go if I need a sip, but I'm excited to share with you guys all about residential assisted living, how you can start, own, and operate your very own care home to really create purpose, security, and wealth in your own life. So why is right now the best timing for senior housing? We just went through timing and the market, and I loved that Cloud said, hey, this is going to be applicable for maybe the next day, maybe the next week or two, right? But it might not be in 2 weeks. And it's true, when we look at our economy, we look at the market, it's really hard to determine what's going to work today, but also into the future. But if you guys aren't aware, the baby boomers have been driving our economy for the last 70 plus years. And this is your final chance to take advantage of the trends that they create. The world looked very different in 1950 than it's projected to look in 2050 or 2060. That 85 plus demographic is the fastest growing demographic. They are coming and we cannot stop it, right? Currently, the silent generation lives in assisted living. There was about 47 million total in that generation, and the baby boomers almost double with 76 million right there. That big green wall, that spike, that's World War II, right? This didn't just happen here in America, it happened everywhere. This is a massive increase of people who are aging, and timing has never been better. What we're talking about with residential assisted living is disrupting the senior housing industry as you may know it. It's kind of like what Uber did to taxi or what Airbnbs did to hotels. We're saying no more are big box facilities the only option. No more do you have to place your loved one in this long hallway, hospital-like feel facility down the road. There's so much better options, and I'm excited to share them with you today. So what's going to change this year? We can drive ourselves crazy, right? Trying to guesstimate and estimate where things are going to go with inflation and interest rates and politically. I mean, it could be a scary time to look at that. So I like to focus on the opposite end of the spectrum. What's not going to change? Because something I know for sure is that we can't stop aging. We can't stop if our loved ones need care and assistance, no matter what the economy looks like. If you lose your job tomorrow, it doesn't matter if mom or dad still needs care and assistance. If interest rates go up or down, it doesn't matter if they need assisted living. This is inevitable. And that's what I like to bet on. The reality is that people are worried right now in our world and our economy. They're worried about paying their bills. They're worried about inflation, future opportunities for their children. Caroline just shared that my dad, I was blessed that he got to pass me 3 cash flowing assisted living homes. Quite passive, quite hands off. About 5 hours a week is what we spend on those homes. And they're each bringing in $10,000 a month. I want you to have that same opportunity to pass that to your kids. I also want you to have an opportunity to make a difference and leave a mark in the world and have a place for your loved ones if they ever need care and assistance. Our journey, it began with a phone call. My grandmother fell and broke her hip, and the doctor called and said, she can't go home alone. Who's going to come pick her up and take care of her 24/7? Just like that, my family had to make a decision. And some of you right now on the call, you're thinking, oh, I've been through this and it's not fun, right? Your choices are very limited. Maybe one of you is going to quit your job and take care of your loved one full time. Maybe you're going to be able to afford in-home care where a caregiver comes to live with them one-on-one in their own home. That could be quite expensive. I'll share with you those numbers in just a moment. Or number 3, you're going to put them into a home. And as soon as you say it, you kind of feel icky. You get that, that pit in your stomach. You promised you wouldn't. You said you'd never. But what are the options? This is exactly the scenario we found ourselves in with my beloved grandmother, Marie, grandmother to 40 of us grandkids, mother to 7, cared for her husband and her mother until their last days. She deserved the best of the best. She was living in upstate New York at the time, and when we went out there to look for somewhere suitable for her, every place had waiting lists. The care was terrible. They smelled, the food was bad, and they were expensive. We knew that there had to be something better. We lived in Arizona at the time, and so we went back to Arizona. My dad had been a real estate investor for almost 30 years at that point, and we kind of stumbled into residential assisted living. And he did quick math and realized, wait. I'm going to pay $5,000 a month for my mom to live in one of these homes, or I could own the real estate, own the business, cash flow $10,000 a month, and she could live for free. It makes a whole lot of sense to get into this. So without anyone teaching us or training us what to do, he jumped in and purchased his first property, made a whole lot of mistakes along the way. My grandmother passed before we could move her in, but we really fell in love with this industry and the impact that we could have on these seniors and their families. So he always used to say, and I'll say it to you tonight, I guarantee you're going to get involved in senior housing one way or the other. Either you are going to be lying in the bed or writing the check for someone who is, or you could be owning the real estate, owning the business, one or the other or both, cash flowing and having a place for your loved ones if they need it. Tonight, I want to share with you the 5 keys to success in residential assisted living, as well as for my more passive investors online tonight, how to become a preferred real estate provider. I got a beautiful introduction there, but who am I and why should you listen to me? I'm the COO of Residential Assisted Living Academy. I was named top senior housing influencer. I'm the lead educator at REIA Academy and the future leader by Senior Housing News for 2 years. I built 8 companies over the last 10 years, and I'm the host of the Assisted Living Network podcast, where we talk all about this topic, assisted living. You know, I learned everything I know about this industry through my father. He was known as the godfather of residential assisted living. He was an author, featured in books, podcasts, news programs, TV shows, you name it. He was the go-to guy for this. But when it really hit me was the moment when Robert Kiyosaki pointed at him from across the room and said, "Hey, you're the assisted living guy." And he ran over to my dad and he said, "Gene, tell me everything." He said, "My wife, Kim, she wants to get involved in this and I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I know a lot about real estate, but I don't know this realm." They became fast friends and he came to our national convention. And, you know, he's the author of the Little Purple Book we all know and love in real estate investing. And Robert himself talked about assisted living on his podcast. I want you guys to hear from him himself. Let's see if we can get this one to play.
Hello, it's Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show, the good news and bad news about money. And as some people already know, we broadcast from gorgeous downtown, old town, Scottsdale, Arizona, where it's either heaven or hell. The show is about real estate, in my opinion, and according to my tax advisors and anybody who's in the know about real investing, there's nothing better than investing in real estate from debt and tax points of view. It is the best. So the question is, what is the number one most important, most profitable, the investment to be real estate investment to be in today? And that's our discussion.
And number one,
the one we're talking about today is what, Kim?
senior housing.
And it's what we're talking about today. It's number one, is so far ahead. It's in the excellent category, and everything else is fair to abysmal. And our guest today has been a friend for years. It's Victor Minash. He is a serial entrepreneur. He started off in Silicon Valley as a smart guy, and then he found religion in real estate. And so Victor is going to be talking to us today about the joys and beauty of assisted living for old guys like me. So the last thing is this, Victor, without asking you, do you offer seminars on this?
And the Residential Assisted Living Academy, Guarino, who you know very well,
right,
also does. And in fact, Dean is based in Phoenix. A lot of the workshops that he holds are based there. If you want to find out more about that, go to the Residential Assisted Living Academy.
Residential Assisted Living Academy.
Pretty cool to see them talking about that. The charts that they're looking at are these. The development prospects, right? And we're comparing vacation homes, Airbnbs or Verbos, right? Single family, high income, manufactured homes, multifamily condos, master planned communities, and single family moderate homes. And it's the development as well as the investment prospects. And that's where he's saying everything else is fair, and senior housing's right there at the top in the excellent category. Now, we know Robert's all about getting out of the rat race. He invested over $100 million in a big box down the road from me in Scottsdale, Arizona. But you do not have to invest $100 million. That's how he likes to play. He's in it always for the money. But I'm here to talk about you and what you want and you need. So how much do you need every single month to cover your monthly personal expenses? Now, I know half the group is Florida and DC, and there's some from all over. And so that number is going to vary greatly based on you and your life and where you live. And it's a personal number. You don't have to write me in the chat, but I want it in your mind. What is that freedom number? I'm blessed to share on this topic all across the country. And the number one response that I typically get is $10,000. Now, my DC friends are thinking, no way, Jose, I need 2 times this, 3 times this. That's a-okay. Listen, one residential assisted living home can get you there. So if you need 2 or 3 times this, we're talking about 1, 2, or 3 properties. That is it. Not hundreds of doors, not thousands of units. No, literally 1, 2, or 3 homes being used for residential assisted living. But why would you want to get involved in this, right? Well, maybe you are starting to see the unstoppable wave of seniors. You know that this is coming and we can't stop it. We're on the precipice of a 20-year ride that we're all about to be taking, whether you want to take it or not. This is what's happening. Look around. It's also inevitable. You will get involved one way or the other, but right now you have the choice as to how you want to get involved. Meg the Stallion went back to Texas Southern University to learn how to open an assisted living facility. Why is a rapper taking, note and trying to get involved in senior housing? You tell me. Tyler Perry launched a TV show called Assisted Living. He's bringing it to mainstream media. It's kind of like a new age Golden Girls, right? I thought that was fun. He knows that this is going to be a topic of conversation in the American household. And Jimmy Buffett, rest his soul, he opened Margaritaville themed retirement communities before he passed. Some of them are down in Florida and then they moved to the West Coast, but that's pretty fun. I mean, I'm not even the biggest fan, but heck yes, I want to go live in paradise singing Jimmy Buffett, sipping margaritas until my last days. That sounds like a whole lot of fun. When we talk about the different options for single family home investing, obviously you can do a fix and flip. You buy a home, you renovate it, you make that money one time, but as soon as you sell it, you're out of the job. You've got to go get another one and do it again, and another one and do it again. And that is not cash flow, that's cash now. So many of you, I know that's kind of where you think you need to start when it comes to residential real estate, but there's really nothing stopping you from getting ahead and doing something more. Single family rentals, making a couple $100 a month, you're going to need a lot of doors to get to your freedom number. That is cash flow, but it's a lot lower. And tenants, toilets, unpaid rent, high turnover, drama, the roof goes out, the AC goes out, there goes your profit for the whole year, right? Group homes, some of you have a heart for those who have clean, sober recovery needs, developmentally disabled adults, whatever the case is. If that is where your heart lies, I highly encourage you to go down that path. At $1,000 a month or more, this is higher cash flow, and you're serving a population that really needs you and your heart calls to. Airbnbs. Listen, if you follow us on social media, you probably think I hate Airbnbs, but I don't. I stay in them all the time. I love them. I just don't think that they're the safest investment when we look at all the different strategies. You've got companies like Marriott coming in, buying up entire neighborhoods, turning them into Airbnbs. And you better believe they have more money, power, and resources than the solopreneur like you or I. So I'm not sure that's the smartest investment. Owning and operating a residential assisted living home, bringing you in 10 grand a month on the low end. If I had one single family home and I had to decide what to do with it, that sure makes the most sense to me. But Proverbs says, he who doesn't look ahead remains behind. And if you're not religious, listen, Wayne Gretzky says, I like to skate where the puck is going, not where it has been. This is about looking at what is to come. If you had a crystal ball back in 2008 or even in 2020, might you have played differently? I know I would have, right? This is that same opportunity right in front of us right now. I'm going to lower my blinds so my face isn't getting shot by the sun. When I talked about the different options for, care and assistance towards the end of life, I mentioned in-home care and how maybe you've promised your loved one, don't worry, you can stay at home. I'll get a caregiver to come live with you and take care of you one-on-one. The average cost in our country today is $27 an hour. So if you need 24/7 care at $27 an hour, 30 days in a month, that's $19,000 a month. Plus your mortgage or lease, your food, your activities, your cable, you name it. We're talking 20, 25 grand to keep your loved one at home. Now, you might be thinking, well, no. I'll take, nights and weekends. I only need someone to watch them while I go to work. Well, say goodbye to coming to Traction REIA. Say goodbye to Johnny's soccer game, Sarah's ballet practice, book club, wine club, church, poker night, whatever it is. When a senior needs care, they need 24/7 care and attention. You cannot be like, hey, mom, jump in the car. We're going to the soccer game. It is painful for them to get out of bed, let alone walk 200 yards, sit in the bleachers for 2 hours, and then go back home. It's not happening. The average cost of care in our country today is $5,350 per person per month. So this was just released. The 2023 numbers were just released last month. So I was excited to redo all of this information for you guys because it's really interesting. As the cost of real estate goes up, the cost of care goes up. They really have stayed in alignment, and the cost has risen 84% over the last 20 years. With a shortage of 1.3 million beds, do we think it's going to keep going up? Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. What is residential assisted living? At the end of the day, you guys, it's just a group home for seniors that provides assistance with the residents' ADLs, activities of daily living, whether it be bathing, dressing, transferring, toileting, walking, or eating, pretty much anything you or I do from the moment we get up out of bed to the moment we go to bed at night. Typically, you need help with 3 to 5 ADLs by the time you move into assisted living. The reality is you are not moving in for funsies, okay? You're moving in because you need this, because you are now being required to be watched by your doctor, whomever it may be. We're not talking about a Brookdale, Sunrise, Atrium, a big commercial facility with long hallways and impersonal staff where you're just a number. That is not what we're talking about. We're also not talking about the opposite end of the spectrum, right? Golden girls, 4 mature women who live in a home who need minor help with landscaping or changing a light bulb. That's not what we're talking about either. We're talking about a residential home in a residential setting. A single family home, typically single level, but you can do it with multiple levels. You have to add in a chairlift or a residential elevator to make it work. These homes are upscale. They're in really nice parts of town. When I'm saying single family, I'm not meaning a 3-bed, 2-bath that's 1,200 square feet. No, no, no. I'm talking a large luxury upscale home. Typically 300 to 500 square feet per resident is very comfortable. Most seniors want their own private bedroom and private bathroom. So as many privates as you can, better. The floors are smooth and clean. The furniture is age appropriate. It's not IKEA. We need to be able to put some heavy, dense weight on it and it can't slip out the way. No, no, no. It needs to be age appropriate, nice, dense, heavy furniture. The homes, they look like homes, you guys, because they are homes, right? This could be one of our homes right now if we didn't know any better. They're not home-like, they're actual homes. Inside the bedrooms, there's beds, dressers, nightstands, and tables, just like you or I may have. In the bathrooms, there's ramps, guardrails, handrails, things to make it senior safe. You do not have to be ADA compliant, but you want to be as close to that as possible. So with your renovations, it's widening hallways and doorways and adding ramps, guardrails, handrails, things like that. Who's living in the home? None other than our adorable seniors just living out their golden years. And I love this photo because the caregiver is sitting and enjoying the meal with the residents. For those of you who have a loved one in a big box or have had a loved one in a big box facility, you probably never saw a scene like this. And it's not because their caregivers don't care and ours magically do. It's because the system is set up to fail our caregivers and our seniors. In a big box facility, you'll often see a 30 senior to 1 caregiver ratio. That's not okay. One person cannot take care of 30 people, especially high need people who actually need help. In our homes, we recommend a 4 to 1 or 5 to 1 ratio. That's a lot more confident and comfortable, and it makes our caregivers honestly enjoy working in our homes a whole lot better than a big facility. We celebrate everything in the home, whether it's Easter, 4th of July, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Mardi Gras, you name it. We're going hard because these seniors deserve the best of the best in their end of life phases. You know, our company motto is to do good and do well, because the reality is, you guys, you can make money in any form of real estate that you want. This isn't just about making money. It's about making an impact. It's about changing your community's life, changing the caregivers' lives, the seniors' lives, the family's life, your family's life. To have that as a backup plan, that you know where you're going to go, you're not going to leave a burden to your children, you're going to leave a blessing, and they can leave that same blessing to the next generation, and on and on and on. And I love that because I ask my landlord friends all the time, I say, when's the last time that you received a check for $6,000 wrapped in a love letter, right? When's the last time someone who you're leasing a home to, they gave you a big hug, right? You're probably not getting that very often. It's more like a punch in the wall. It's more like an angry text message. Okay. But in this industry, you guys, we are often receiving our checks wrapped in love letters, nice, kind text messages, flowers, balloons, hugs, because these people are grateful. They're thankful. They're so like, you provided this for my mom or dad when I couldn't. I'm happy to write you that check. I can't wait to come visit, because they're not cut out for it. I know I'm not born to be a caregiver, and that's okay, because I am born to be a real estate investor. And now I can merge those things to provide the highest quality care I can for my family. You know, what do you really want at the end of the day? Do you want to feel good about your investments and be proud of the work that you do? Do you want to have enough income to live the life you've always dreamed of? Stop settling, stop working overtime. Or maybe it is about leaving that legacy. Maybe it is about what's to come for the next generation. The facts and statistics are there's 76 million baby boomers, 10,000 people a day turning 65, 4,000 people a day turning 85. 90% of seniors want to stay in their own homes, but 70% are going to need daily care for an average of 3.5 years. The odds are they're going to need home care and assistance, and I want you to be the one to be able to provide that for them. Right about now, I'm sure some myths or misconceptions are popping up in your mind, like, yeah, but am I going to have to work in the home? And the answer is no. Listen, I don't work in my homes. You don't have to work in yours. That's not what I show you how to do. I show you how to create the business, hire the licensed appropriate staff so that you can work on, not in, your business. I'm going to show you the most passive and hands-off way for you to do this so that you don't have to worry about that. My 3 homes, like I said, I spend about 5 hours a week on them. I live about 40, 45-ish minutes away, and that's far enough away that I'm not tempted to go visit them. Honestly, unless I'm on that side of town, I'm not going to go visit. So I probably go to them every other month. That's what I want to show you to be able to do. Liability, is it going to be through the roof? Nope. It's about $2 to $3 per resident per month. If you have 10 residents in the home, $900 a month, it's a line item. Do you want and need to have it? Oh yeah, baby. Okay. But it is not going to break the bank. We'll show you how in our training to get connected with the best liability insurance agents that protect you, your caregivers, and your seniors. You can't find good employees in this industry. Ooh, these are fighting words, you guys. Listen, we have a very different experience than what is publicized in the media in regards to caregivers and nurses and all this shortage. First of all, we're not hiring nurses in our homes. We're hiring licensed caregivers. So that doesn't necessarily affect us. But when it comes to the licensed caregivers, yeah, there's incredibly high turnover in the big box facilities. Because do you want to care for 30 people for just one of you? Do you want to have to shove food down their throat, wheel them out to shove more food down their throat, to go again, go again, go again, never feel like you're actually making a dent or making a difference? I wouldn't, but I'd love to get paid the same to actually be able to accomplish the job that's being presented to me. And that's the experience that they get in our homes. The longevity of stay is literally 10x what it is in a big box facility. We're offering them the same thing, but our offering is so much greater. And I'll also say this, appreciation goes a long way. They are the face, they're the lifeblood of your business. Saying thank you, being grateful to them, providing them opportunities. If they say, hey, I've always wanted to go to school and become a nurse, help them apply for a scholarship, whatever the case is, all those things that you do because you actually care matter, and they help people to stay a lot longer. Do you need medical experience? You do not. You are not working in the home. You're not living in the home. You are not necessarily a medical professional, and you don't need to be one. But if you are a doctor or nurse, you can use that as a feather in your cap when it comes to marketing. Having a doctor-owned home or a nurse-owned home, that is a nice tool that you can use to market your home that way. You don't need it, but if you have it, we'll show you how to leverage it. An HOA won't let me do this. That's actually not true. Because of the Federal Fair Housing Act, which is a federal law, it trumps any city, state, angry neighbor, or HOA who tries to tell you no. I'm not saying that they're not going to try to tell you no. And listen, if there's a neighborhood with an HOA and one without, we're going to encourage you to choose the one without if they're right next door to each other. But if you can't get away from it, every neighborhood has an HOA. Okay, you may have to get prepared for a battle, but you will win because it's a federal law. We're a protected class. Because if you need help with 3 to 5 ADLs and you're no longer allowed to live alone, you are considered disabled at that point. And so because of that, we are protected. We also created the only national association that represents all 30,000 group homes across our country today. So if you do run into any issues, who are you going to call? Not Ghostbusters, okay? You're going to call the REL National Association and they will help you. They will help you work through those issues. This last one, seniors can't afford this. Not true. I'm going to show you how we're going to break it down. And you guys know that over 50% of our country's wealth is held by one generation, the baby boomers. They have the money to afford this, and that's who we're going after. So Harry S. Dent, New York Times best-selling author of The Demographic Cliff, said the opportunity of our lifetime in real estate development and investing is likely to be in nursing homes and assisted living facilities. I want you to hear from him himself.
Yeah, so what Jane's in charge of is this organization called Residential Assisted Living. In your opinion, is that the best real estate play to be in?
It is, because I always tell people, because the baby boom was so large, everything they do as they age is the best sector. People say millennials, there's more millennials. Well, they're not as big a wave. They're a fraction of the wave. So what assisted living and nursing homes do, they play the last stage of the baby boomers, the largest generation in history, and nobody sees it coming. Nobody. No, we do. You do. Nobody sees. I bring this up and people say, Harry, what are you smoking? There's the baby boomers already retired. They're already in assisted living. No, they're just starting.
Yeah.
In 2018. Oh, yeah. They got 26, 28 years of nonstop growth. Yeah. Nothing will grow faster and nobody will see it coming.
Pretty cool to see them talking about that. You've got, oh, let's see where my little button went.
Yeah, so what Jane's
We've got, oh, I'm going to go back. Harry S. Dent, New York Times bestselling author of The Demographic Cliff, a pretty popular statistician if you don't follow him. Robert Kiyosaki, my father, the late Gene Guarino. You may recognize that next guy from those Dos Equis commercials back in the day. He was the most interesting man in the world. Him and my dad were good friends. And then on the corner there, you've got Brad Upton. If you like clean comedy, he's on Comedy Central all the time. This was at one of our national conventions that we host every year to celebrate all the industry leaders. And so these guys were there chatting about that. I want to get into the 3 smartest options for you to participate in REL because everybody may have a different route that's the right route for them. So the first one is you can own the real estate and lease it to someone who's going to operate this business within your home, lease it to an operator. We call this being a preferred real estate provider. You can be getting up to twice the fair market rent. How? Why? Well, you've taken a home, you've renovated it, gotten it retrofit and ready to go for assisted living, added more bedrooms and bathrooms. Maybe you've added that elevator or chairlift, widened hallways and doorways, ramps, guardrails, you name it. You've gotten it ready to go for assisted living. And someone is willing to pay you for the hard work that you've done. And so that's an available opportunity for you. They're also a long-term, low-impact tenant that requires little or no maintenance. What I mean by that is it's not a single family who's leasing from you for a year or 2 at a time. This is a business and location matters. They're trying to plant roots. They're trying to establish themselves and build a brand. They don't want to be uprooted and have to go somewhere else. The location is everything. So they'll be signing a 3, 5, 8, or 10-year contract with you. And you're not going to have to worry about much turnover if that's the case. I love that for my landlords. Now, when I say low impact or little or no maintenance, what I mean is there's no teenagers punching holes in the wall. There's no pit bulls being bred in the living room, motorcycles being dissected in the dining room. We've all heard the horror stories, right? We've all experienced the horror stories. Listen, that's not what's happening, right? Little grandma's rocking chair went back and forth one too many times. You got to paint the sheetrock. Like it's really being kept pristine and clean at all times, because you're touring new families through. And so we want to make sure that it's being upkept. Plus you have 24/7 awake staff, caregivers on shift overnight. And what do you think they're doing when everyone's asleep? Cleaning. So the home is being kept pristine. That's one way you can get involved. Your second option is to own the real estate and operate the business. This is what we do and what most of our students choose to do because this is where you can control everything. It's also where you can make the most cash flow. And in a moment, when I go through the numbers with you, this will be the category I'm referring to, category number 2. Your third option is you could be a private lender or JV partner. If you're on the call tonight and you're an accredited investor and you've got deep pockets and you don't want to own the real estate and you don't want to operate the business, you just want to invest in someone who's going to do this, you may want to be the lender and get returns and not have to deal with anything else. There may be someone on tonight that you want to partner with who they're going to be more of that sweat equity and you're going to be the investor and you guys can partner up in that way. So I've been talking now for 30 plus minutes and you're thinking, how much money can I make? Get to the numbers, right? Well, because everyone's coming in from all across the country, we have to go through how much assisted living costs. I shared with you that the national average is $5,350 per person. But this website will give you the average in your area. So feel free to screenshot it or jot it down, genworth.com/cost of care. I love this website because when you type in the area that you like to invest or where you live, whatever the case is, it's going to show you the average cost of care in your area right now. But there's also a toggle button. You see, my mom's not going to need care for another 25 plus years. So I can bump that little baby up and see how much it's projected to go up in the next 25 years. And y'all, it's terrifying. So make sure to check out that website and have some fun with it. Now, I have good and bad news, however you want to chop it up. But people always ask, what are the most expensive places for assisted living in our country today? And our friends in DC, you slipped from the #1 spot. Y'all held the #1 spot for about 20 years. And now you're down to number 6. Hawaii took #1. Hawaii is the most expensive place right now in our country. Average rates of $9,340. We've got Maine, Vermont, Delaware, New Jersey, DC right there at $7,348. Alaska, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and California rounding us out at $6,250. Now, in DC, we know that that's the average. Maryland is $6,900 and Virginia is $6,050. So that's kind of giving you that full DMV perspective right there. DC still being the most expensive place in that DMV area. And then in Florida, your state average is $4,750. And this little thing is in my way. There we go. I bumped it up. Gainesville is actually the most expensive with average rates of $8,055. Tallahassee's next. We've got Panama City, Port St. Lucie, Jacksonville, Miami, Naples, Sarasota, Palm Bay, Tampa, Orlando, and Pensacola at $2,295. Now, Florida's an interesting one because you guys are a very saturated market. So these numbers are not just based on the cost of living, they're also based on saturation versus in most all other states, they're based on cost of living. But Florida and Arizona alike, we also have to factor in saturation rates. I'm going to say this though, you guys. This does not mean if you love mom, you move her to Gainesville. And if mom didn't love you, you move her to Pensacola. Okay, that's not how this works. If you live in Naples, mom is probably coming to Naples, right? Wherever daughter Judy, son Bob, the adult child who's determining where mom or dad is going to go get their care, wherever they live, eat, work, sleep, play, that's probably where the senior's going to end up. Now, if you had one home providing you an additional $10,000 a month, would you be more confident and secure knowing you could pay your bills easily and stay in control financially? Would you be more comfortable knowing you had a place to go or your loved ones had a place to go if and when you need that care? And would you be more fulfilled knowing you're making a difference? I hope that this presentation is giving you that encouragement to know that REL can start ticking those boxes. So because everyone's coming in from all over, I'm going to use some US averages tonight to kind of keep it even for everybody. We know 5,350 is that average rate in our country. So I'm going to use 55 for even math, and I'm going to times it by 10 residents. Depending on where you live or where your home is, you're going to be allowed to have somewhere between 6 and 16 residents in the home. Now, in the state of Florida, you're allowed to have 12 residents, but most of your counties say you're only allowed to have 6 or you're only allowed to have 8. So if there's a county that says 6, I'd probably prefer to go to a county that says 8, or I would apply for a variance to let it go up to the state limitation of 12. DC, you're allowed to have 10. So we're going to go with 10 for kind of even, easy math there. 55,000 coming in as your monthly gross income. Now, in our training, we go through these categories and I show you the high end and the low end of where you need to be falling in each of these categories. But for the sake of me whipping through this tonight, I'm going to focus us on the 2 numbers at bottom, 25 versus 35. The difference is not $10,000. The difference is you. Are you going to be the candlestick maker, the cook, and the baker? You're going to live in the home, work in the home, wipe the seniors' bums, help them get out of bed, do the grocery shopping, cook all the food, do the laundry. No, 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 no. That's not what we do. That's not what I show you how to do. I want to show you how to hire the licensed appropriate staff who's going to do that within the home so you can work on, not in the business. So in this case, we're going to go with the higher end expenses, $35,000. Now, debt service. We all know that real estate's insanely expensive now across the country, but can we get a pretty nice home in most parts of the country for 10 grand a month? I mean, I would say yes, okay? This is leaving us with $10,000 of monthly net income or $120,000 of annual net income on one average REL home. Now listen, I'm not average, and I don't think you are. Most of you are thinking, I wouldn't even leave my goldfish, let alone my mom, in an average care home. So let's go a little nicer, because I know that that's what you would want and what I would want too for my loved ones. Maybe it's $6,700 times 10 residents, bringing in $67,000 a monthly gross. Our overhead stays the same because it's the same 10 residents. It's just a nicer home. It's in a better part of town. Maybe it's a bigger lot. Maybe there's more bedrooms and bathrooms, whatever the case is. We've increased the debt service to $12,000 a month. This is leaving us with $20,000 of monthly net income or $240,000 of annual net income. Our students, Scott and Michelle in Metairie, Louisiana, these are their numbers. If they can do it in Louisiana, you guys, you can definitely do it where you are. Now, some of you invest out of state, maybe in places like Texas, Wisconsin, Illinois, Idaho, Indiana, New Jersey, wherever that is allowed to have 15 or 16 residents in the home. So I want to show you some luxury numbers like our student Brian in New Jersey. These are his numbers. $8,000 times 15 residents, he brings in $120,000 of monthly gross income. His overhead is about $60K a month because we have 5 extra residents. So we need to pay for more staff. We need to pay for more electricity, more food, more cable, you name it. Plus, this is luxury, you guys. If they want lobster and cheesecake every night, they get it. If they want HBO and Hulu's, we're giving them Netflix too. Okay, whatever they want, they get. We've put in $20,000 a month for debt service because a 15-bed, 15-bath home, that's going to cost us a pretty penny. This is leaving him with $40,000 of monthly net income or $480,000 of annual net income. Now, listen, I know people who make $40,000 a year, and I also have students who are making $40,000 a month. The only difference between these two people in my life is what's between their 2 ears. One of them has limitations, and the other says the sky is the limit, and I'm going to do whatever I can to secure financial freedom for myself and my family. There's no difference between you and Brian in New Jersey. This could be your cash flow. This could be your home. I don't just like to show you how to do it once. I actually like to show you how to have a 3-pack. 3 homes within 20 to 40 minutes of each other, because the reality is if you're going to do this, then why not really do it? And also, if you're going to do this, I want to show you how you can utilize your staff. Your staff, they're typically like nurses working 3 days on, 4 days off because they might have 10 or 12-hour shifts. Well, listen, they're not off those other 3 or 4 days. If they're not working for you, they're working in Joe Schmo's home down the road. Okay. So if you have multiple homes, they can work 3 or 4 days for you here, 3 or 4 days for you here. They get to stay in the same work culture and environment, and you don't have to pay overtime. It's a win-win. I want to get through the 5 keys to success, and then we'll open it up for Q&A, and I'll share with you how you can come to our training or connect with us after this. Number 1 is location. We cannot talk about real estate without talking about location, but when it comes to RAL, it's about density, demand, and demographics. This is not, if you build it, they will come. It's not the field of dreams, okay? You have to do your internal feasibility study to determine that this is the exact right area that it's actually going to work. And the demographics, we're looking for a majority population of 50 to 70-year-olds who are upper middle class, making twice the median income, homeowners, college grads. That's the area we want to be in. When it comes to the 5 levels, we do not want to put grandma in a level 1 home, okay? These aren't assisted livings, but it's a joke, okay? That's a multi-level mobile home unit, right? And I don't know whose house that is. It's probably basketball players or something, but you get the point. We're not leaving grandma in the ghetto, okay? If you are scared to go there at night, that's not where we're putting the care home. Now, we also don't need to go to the tippy top, level 5, the most luxurious part of town, right? With manicured lawns and guards at the gate who say, who are you coming to visit here? We don't need to go that high end. We're going to want to stay in that sweet spot, that level 3, 4. Financially, that looks like this. If the average cost is that $5,350, anything charging less than that is below average. So you want to be in that sweet spot, level 3, 4. Now, your state or area, you can redo this chart based on your numbers, and level 2, 3 will be that break point on your average number right there. I know level 5 looks nice, and some of you are thinking, well, why can't I do level 5? 10K per resident? Sign me up, baby. But look at the shape of the chart, you guys. It gets smaller at the top. Your opportunity zone shrinks. Because if someone can afford that, might they also be able to afford in-home care? Possibly, okay? I want you to stay in an area where not only you'll have success today, but also success tomorrow. Donald and Talinda, they came to our training. They said, thank you to the REL Academy. It's been amazing, the support we've received from you guys. We wouldn't have been able to make this journey without you. They opened a 12-bed care home out in Kansas City, and it's absolutely spectacular. They focus on memory care. And when they came to the training, we gave them these videos before they came to class to get them in the right headset, heart set, mindset. So when they came, they were ready to soak up the information and take action. Number 2 is your team. You are not it. You really have to build your team so that you can repeat and scale. In many other forms of real estate, you guys, we can DIY it. We can be the end all be all and be the only one doing it, but not with RAL. You will only be able to be hands off by systemizing it and getting your team in place. Mariella, my manager right here, she oversees my 3 care homes, and that's what allows me to only work 5 hours a week on this, is her right there. She is the lifeblood of the business, doing the hiring, the firing, the payroll. If someone calls out on a shift, I'm not aware of it. She is. Because guess what? I couldn't even fill the shift anyways. I'm not licensed to do it. But she'll find a replacement caregiver or do it herself. And so this is why it's so important to utilize that power of team. Dean, one of our incredible students out in Georgia, he said, I never thought I would own an RAL, but I had to make a plan for my partner and myself. We're now cash flowing like we never imagined, leaving a legacy for our children and having a lot of fun in the meantime. I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't give you the same opportunity that we gave to Dean and his partner. Number 3 is clients. Listen, the resident is not your client. I've said, who is your client, their name a couple times so far, and I don't know if you guys have been listening, but who really is your client if it's not the senior? It's daughter Judy. It's son Bob. It's that adult child who's responsible for the care of mom or dad. Just like we got that call from the doctor saying she can't go home alone. We were the daughter Judy in that scenario. We had to make those decisions. Where's mom or dad going to go? How are they going to pay for this? Who's going to be the primary responsible one? All these different things, those decisions you have to make. You want to be marketing to daughter Judy, not the senior. You want to be talking to daughter Judy. The senior wants to stay at home, but daughter Judy knows that they can't. That should change the way that you're thinking about promoting this home, filling this home, and how you communicate with your customer in this sense. Ogita, she took our online home study course. She said, thank you to Rala. My family's opened 4 homes since we took your course. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She took our online course. She was going to nursing school at the time. She dropped out and is doing this full time. That's absolutely incredible. I love that. Mitch and Jen, they said our vision is to open 100 luxury RAL homes and build a great reputation for RAL in our community. We're excited to be in the right place at the right time. You guys, they are on home number 26. Can you imagine if you had 26 homes cash flowing like this? Look, 26, forget that. Imagine if you had 3 homes cash flowing like that. I mean, this is game-changing money. This is life-changing money. You know, a tool that we gave them when they came to the training was the profitability calculator. It's an incredible tool so you can plug and play and you can see if a deal will work or if it won't work, and you could walk away or make a move very quickly. I love that profitability calculator. It really helped them take action quickly. Number 4 is getting paid. Do not focus on Medicaid, focus on private pay residents and maximize LTC insurance. So where does the money come from? Well, some people will pay with Medicare. If you've served even 1 day in active duty, you and your spouse may qualify for aid and attendance, and you can get that subsidized by the VA. If you have LTC, long-term care insurance, that's an excellent way to pay for your care needs. Only 10% of the population has it. So not many, but if you do, it's a great way. Most seniors are using their cash, their savings, their IRA, their investments, or they're selling their physical home and using that cash to help pay for their care needs. And of course, there's my last category of seniors who said, I'm going to let my kids figure it out. You know, I took care of them. It's their turn to take care of me. We all have a senior loved one who we've heard say that, right? We know the drill. The reality is, if you are the responsible one, the wealthy one, the only one in your family who your parents will go to, you probably need to have that conversation with them, because some of you may have 1 loved one who's going to rely on you. Some may have 2, some may have 4, some may have 6 or 8. I don't know your family situation, but there could be a lot of people who are now going to need this. And if they're relying on you and you don't have a plan, it's time. It's time for you to make that plan and take action. I love this story. Walt, when we met him, he was just such a legend in the industry. He'd been in the business for over 15 years when we met him. You know, he didn't trust that his kids were going to take care of him in the way that he wanted. So he actually custom built a 10-bed, 10-bath home for himself, and he lived in it, cash flowing, living for free until the day he passed. I love it. But when we met him, we were like, Walt, you've got to know more than us. You've been in this business for so long. Come to the training. Tell us what we're missing out on. And he said, actually, when I came to the 3-day class, I learned how I was leaving over $15,000 a month on the table. That's over $2 million during those 15 years. I felt sick to my stomach, but grateful to find out too. Thank you, Rala. You know, if you are in this industry or know someone who is, and you're not cash flowing like the way we've been talking about here, maybe there's something left to be learned. Maybe there's a way that you can increase and 10x your business, and I'd love to show you how. Number 5 is systems, you guys. Saving yourself time, energy, and money. If you are type A like me, systems are critical for success. When it comes to systems in a residential assisted living, we're talking about team building. How do you identify, train, and retain the best of the best staff so you don't have high turnover, so you don't get those calls when someone no-shows, and that you have longevity with your staff who will treat your seniors well and build you a good reputation? Real estate, you guys are pros at this, but it's what are the little differences with RAL and the regular real estate investing when it comes to location, acquisitions, and renovations. I want to make sure you know everything. Funding. Some of you are thinking, how am I going to fund this project? And you can take a deep breath, because you do not have to use your own money. As Robert Kiyosaki says, you're being lazy if you use your own money. He yells, sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you, but you get the drill. Listen, there are so many people who have money in the bank that's making them $0, -$0, literally losing, dwindling away. If you could offer them 12, 15% back on their money, might they want to invest with you? Oh yeah, baby. This is a great opportunity to work with lenders, and it's an opportunity that you guys, It's actually a lot easier to raise capital for this because everyone on planet Earth can connect to aging, family, seniors, loved ones. Everyone has a story. It's pretty incredible, and it's actually quite easy to raise capital for. Partners. Some of you have always wanted to work with a partner in your life, whether it's a daughter, son, husband, wife, niece, nephew, brother, uncle, whoever it may be. This could be a incredible opportunity for you to partner with someone, merge your talents and skills, and come into this business together. Last but not least, operations, you guys. When it comes to the documents you need to submit to the state to get the home licensed and approved, that may include things like policies and procedures, emergency plans, menus, and schedules. All those different documentation are what you're going to need to get that stamp of approval and move forward with your care home. Now, Carla Lee, she said, I took the course in February. I had a business in July, and I spoke with many others in my area. And for them, it took years to get their doors open because they didn't have the support I had. She opened 9 homes in less than 3 years, you guys. That is absolutely amazing. Sean, he said, I opened my first home just a couple months after finishing the course. He did our online course. He said, my 3rd home's now up and running. I'm working on my 4th. Hallelujah. I quit my corporate job and I got the Maserati I've always dreamed of. For some of you, it's a car, it's a boat, it's a second home. For others of you, it's just that legacy. It's just to pass something down. It's just to have that backup, have that deep breath, that woo-saw moment. These are our incredible students out in Alexandria, Wade and Dong Jin. This is their care home, and they are doing so amazing. Their average rates in their care home in Alexandria, $9,500 per person. They are thriving. That's absolutely incredible. Dave Reese, he's in Woodbridge, Virginia with Evermore. That's his care home. Absolutely spectacular there. Renee, he's in Rembrandt. His home's called Rembrandt, and the home is in Falls Church, Virginia. He is actually a private chef, him and his wife, and they wanted to open a care home. So there's people who do this who have no real estate background, no medical background. It's all up to you. Maybe he was cooking that fish for the home later. This is Harmony Meadows, Norman and Paulette's home out in Lee Acres, Florida. This is Wendy and Terrence's home in Spring Hill, Florida. And Dave, I just love Dave. He's got 4 homes in Jupiter and the Palm Bay area. Absolutely crushing the game out there. I can go through success story after success story, but the real question is, will you be the next success story? I've shared with you a lot today, but at this point you have 3 options, and you always have 3 options, right? Number 1, you can have a Men in Black moment, flash, forget everything we talked about, keep doing what you're doing, and I wish you the best of luck. And if you ever need a bed, I'll probably have one for you, so give me a call. Number 2, you can say, I don't need you. I'm going to go to YouTube University and figure it out on my own. Again, I'm going to wish you the best of luck, and I'll be here. You can call me when you run into trouble, because you will. Number 3, you can say, this is ticking my boxes. It's making a lot of sense. I get it. I see the silver tsunami, and I want to take advantage and ride that wave. I'm going to share with you a little bit about how we teach people how to do this all across our country. But I do want to just say we were able to go through those 5 keys to success tonight: the location, your team, clients, getting paid, and systems. We were able to talk about the 3 smartest options for you to participate. And for my more passive friends, we got to go through how to become a preferred real estate provider. We got to talk about how you can make $10,000, $20,000, even $40,000 a month on just one care home. I hope this is getting you guys excited, because it really can be an answer to prayers if you're praying the same thing I'm praying, right? Now, I know that tonight we're meeting virtually, so I did want to give you 2 options: an in-person option in Phoenix, Arizona, as well as an online home study course. So I'm going to go through the online course first, and then we'll talk about the live training. We'll jump into Q&A, and we'll get you guys back to your evenings. When it comes to the online home study course, you guys, this is an 11-module, 46-section course. You have lifetime access. You can take it at your own pace. There's an area for you to write Q&A questions. Once you've taken a video and you have a question, you can write it. I log in every morning and I help answer your questions. In section number 1, we're going through the opportunities, the blueprint, and what the silver tsunami looks like in our world, in our country, and in your area. The next section, we cover definitions, how to be a private lender, JV partner, how to scale, or how to lease your home for this, or be that owner operator, whichever method you want to take. The next section, REL real estate. We got to touch on the best and the worst properties, local requirements, safety requirements, what you need in the bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchens, how to renovate your home or do a ground up build, because some of you may want to do a ground up build. We got to cover that. Locations, we need to talk about where, why, and how, and the best and worst demographics, and then how to find that rating system in your area. When it comes to the business section, you guys, there are others who teach and train on this topic, but they're showing you how to live in your home, how to work in your home. That's not what we do. We go through the business section, the property, documents, licensing, staffing, who's an employee, who's an independent contractor, how much do you pay them, how do you work all of that out, and what's the appropriate timeline from start to finish. Funding, I need you to know how to do a capital stack, all the terms and definitions, how to potentially reposition some assets you may already have, what 5 types of lenders we recommend and the connections to those, as well as how to custom create your business plan so you can get in front of those investors and get the money you need for your project. The next section, sources of income and that sample expenses. It's so important for you to know where those numbers need to be falling so that it can make sense and your bottom line actually works out. I mentioned to you earlier that there's 30,000 group homes across our country. Might some of them be willing to sell? Oh, you better believe it. Many people in this industry, I should say 80%, are immigrants. They're from other countries. They come over here. They love seniors. They open a home. They work in the home, live in the home, do everything themselves. After about 7 or 8 years, they burn out. And that's pretty normal. That's what we see in this industry. And us coming in as professional business owners, you and I, we may be able to get a great deal on their business. So I need you to know the top 10 factors to consider, how to recast your financials, how to expand your business, and what valuation methods do we use. Also the pros and cons of purchasing one versus starting one. When it comes to marketing, how to name your home, how to fill your home, how to advertise and work in the community, the operations, differences between taking over and starting from scratch, how to build your team and create those systems. Last but not least, we've been in this business for 10 years, you guys. We have companies come to us all the time, just like being a part of Traction REIA and Carolina telling you, hey, these are all of our partners. When you are part of Traction, you get these discounts. Is the same thing with us. We have so many amazing connections in the senior housing world that you get discounts and group purchasing power for being a member of the REL Academy. We also have that national association that you can get a free membership for. Our online home study course, like I said, quizzes along the way, lifetime access, transcripts, and everything for you to follow along. That course is available to you tonight at a discount $997. You can take action on that by going to tractionrea.com/RAL. Now, the live course typically, and I worked this out with Tom and Carolina, so don't try to ask us for this later. This is only here for real. If you call us tomorrow, this is not the deal. You have to go through them, through this link. With our live training tonight and this week, we are offering a bundle, the online course with the live course. We do not offer that. That is only for you guys here. The live course, you guys, it's a 3-day training in Phoenix, Arizona. We cover everything we just talked about when it comes to the online course and then some. I'm your lead instructor, and we have about 10 other educators there sharing on all different topics, how to syndicate these deals, how to do memory care, how to be a remote owner. 31% of care home owners are remote owners, so you may want to own a home in another state. We have cocktail hours and dinners. We have so much fun. Panels, live bus tours. We drive by all of our homes so you can see, touch, feel, and really understand what these homes look like from the inside out with our video tours. Our staff, they're all past students. They came to class, they learned the information, they went out, got their homes up and running, and now they're back to teach and train you how to do this. In that training, it's all encompassing, A to Z. We're not leaving anything out. We're throwing in that online home study course for you as well. The cost for that, $3,997. I will say this, it's an additional $1,000 if you'd like to bring a business partner or spouse. We have one rule, we call it the BBB rule, okay? They've got to be your partner in bed, blood, or bank account. If you don't know what that means, you can ask someone, okay? They'll let you know. No rubbing elbows with a stranger and saying, let's split the cost. They need to be a legitimate business partner with you. Our upcoming training dates, the April one is right around the corner. We only have 3 spots left. If any of you want to come out to that one, it's literally not this weekend, but next weekend. Those 3 spots will probably fill up tonight. So if you're serious, make sure to take action. If not, the June 6th through 9 and the July 25th through 28th have plenty of spots available for you guys there. Those are our 3 upcoming dates. If those dates don't work for you, we have trainings every 6 to 8 weeks, and we have the whole rest of the calendar through the end of the year. So you can still get registered, and we'll make sure to have a future date locked in for you. Now, again, you can take action at that same website. You guys gave me your most precious asset tonight. The reality is money comes and goes, but time, it just goes, right? I want to give you a take action bonus for those of you who are ready to take action, move forward, and change your life tonight. First is the Foundations course. This is for everyone who purchases our live training. These are videos to get you in the right headset, heart set, mindset. I mentioned that Donald and Talinda went through this Foundations course before they came to class, and it helped them get their home up and running a lot faster. And so I want to give that to you as a bonus tonight. The next, this is for either purchase, is the roadmap to success. This is the step-by-step plan that shows you exactly what you need to do. So when you leave class, you're not overwhelmed saying, what do I do first? You have it down. You have that exact plan, line by line. You know what to do. Third is the profitability calculator. I mentioned that Mitch and Jen used this when they were evaluating their 26 deals out in Colorado. A quick tool where you can plug and play, see if a deal works or not, if you should go with it or stay away from it. I want you to have that tool. You know, if you purchased either of these courses and it got you a care home that cash flowed you 10 grand a month for the rest of your life, would that investment be worth it? Oh yeah, baby. If it got you a place where you could go when you need care and assistance, or your loved ones could go if and when they need care and assistance, would that investment be worth it? Absolutely. That live 3-day, just to lay it out for you guys here, you get the meet and greet with the REL experts, you get the take home materials before class, during class, after class, virtual and live bus tours. You get the procedural steps on hiring managers and caregivers, how to fill your home fast with Tours 101, demographics, how to exactly pinpoint the area where you want your care home, as well as syndication and memory care, and then branding and marketing. The remote operations and the asset protection is what really sets it apart. The final and last bonus I want to give you guys before we jump into Q&A, because I'm so grateful that you guys are all staying on the line tonight. I really, really appreciate it, is my book, Living Legacy. This is my story of the transition of the businesses from my dad to me, and I want to give that to you guys as a bonus tonight. So anyone who takes action on either courses, you'll also get this 4th bonus. Our mission as a company is to positively impact 10 million people by providing high quality assisted living for seniors in a residential home environment. For those of you who have loved ones in big boxes, you know that it can be a sticky and icky situation and time in your life. I don't want any senior to have to go through what we had to go through. I don't want any of you to have to go through what we had to go through. We all together can provide high quality homes that we'd be proud to put our loved ones in, that we'd be proud to go in. I want you to walk in these homes and say, wow, I could see myself living here. That's music to my ears. And I invite you to be a part of our mission. And you can do that by going to tractionrea.com/RAL. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging with me tonight. It's been a lot of fun. I know that there's some questions in the chat already, but if you have any more, I am here. We still have quite a bit of time, so I'm excited because now we can really get into it. So thank you so much.
That was awesome, Isabel. Thank you so much. Did you know that while you were speaking, they were putting together deals in there? Like somebody offered, hey, I have the perfect house, and someone else said, oh, I want it. So I love it. All the wheels are running. And I don't think I mentioned this to you before, but when your dad came to Traction several years ago, after that presentation, so many people took action, and now several of them have assisted living facilities, especially the ones in DC. And if I think Valerie Lucas. I remember if there's one
Yes.
of you that is there, let us know. Unmute Valerie. I don't know if you're there still, and if you want to share your success story and tell us about your current house. Hey, Valerie, are you there?
Hey, yeah, sorry.
You want to tell us?
Say that again.
Do you currently have an assisted living facility?
I do in Bowie, Maryland.
Awesome. Hi, Valerie.
I should have shouted you out, girlfriend. I need a photo of your home.
Yeah, you had asked me about that before. I'm sorry. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Oh, will you share just a bit? Oh, so go. Show
Oh,
us
I'm
your
sorry. I'm
beautiful
sorry.
face.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Lord, I got these aligners on my teeth, and you have to brush your teeth and do all of this crazy stuff and wearing for so many hours. So I'm sorry. I got caught brushing my teeth.
Don't worry, we still love you, Valerie. We won't hold it against you. Please tell us real quick how you did it and what's happening right now with your current assisted living facility.
Yes, so basically we're growing. I initially attended when Gene came out to McLean when you all had him there. And then I took the 3-day and I came out and I met everybody. And then after that, I worked with Jim. And Jim actually, we decided I wanted the quickest way in, so that was to purchase. So I just basically took the skills that I learned from Tom and Traction, and I went online to the state of Maryland Office of Healthcare Quality and downloaded their providers list. And I just sent everyone a letter asking if they knew of anyone who wanted to sell assisted living. And I got quite a bit of interest, and I went with the woman who her facilities were across the street from one another, and they were all on one level. And then I worked with ABW, which is also associated with Isabella, and I got my funding through them. And then I'm now working with the SBA to refinance out of ABW's lease purchase program.
I love it.
We love it. We love it. Isn't that the perfect partnership here, Isabel? Like, we have a fantastic Traction member. We adore Valerie. She's been with us for a long time, and then she just takes action. And the same when she took Tom's training, she just did whatever we asked her to do. She actually did it.
That is when people say, how do I know if I'm going to be successful? It's what Valerie just said and what you just said, taking action. That's the only person who's ever going to be successful at anything. You know, we can all take a million courses. It doesn't matter if you're not going to do something. And so that's always the most important thing. Find what you love, and it's going to be easier to take action on things that matter to you, that are tied to a strong why.
Awesome. Valerie, thank you so much. I
Thank
always
you
like
all.
to showcase.
Congrats.
Because first, maybe somebody said, oh, no, that doesn't work. Oh, no, that's going to take too much money. Oh, no, I cannot do that. And I love to prove them wrong. Like, yes, this is the example that it can work and it will work. Thank you so much, Valerie. And I'm sure you get bombarded. People are going to start texting you and sending you messages. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you too. Thank y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Isabel, do you want me to read the questions? Do you read them? How do you usually answer the questions? Because
you can read anything. I kind of just went through. I didn't see too many, but if you guys have some, feel free to drop them in the chat.
I love that somebody said, hey, who wants to partner? And then somebody said, hey, I have a house. So that one looks cool. Let me see.
The beauty of groups like this, you guys all work together. You're leaps and bounds ahead of the rest of the world who thinks that they have to do everything themselves and everyone else is a competitor. You guys are such a friendly and collaborative group, and that will always help aid you.
And thank you for giving us a special deal, because I always get people, oh, let me just go later. It's like, no, come on. Thanks to our negotiation skills, we were able to ask Isabel for the best deal possible.
Did you take the negotiation course?
Yeah, I sleep with somebody who's a good negotiator, and then by nature I am good because I'm from Colombia. We were born, you always ask for less or for more. Like you're never, the set price is not the set price. So okay. So Edwin is asking, what is the average rate for the DMV area?
I'm gonna put this back up here so you could take a screenshot if you want right there, Edwin, but your average rates right here, it's different in each of your states. And then obviously when you go to that site, this site, genworth.com/cost of care, you're gonna be able to see all the different cities or counties in your area as well.
Awesome. Okay. So
I'll go back there so you can see it again.
Okay. I love seeing people that I haven't seen in a long time. And Chris Rice, welcome back. I haven't seen you in a long time. I remember you took our training years ago. He has a particular question, but I'm sure we can figure it out. I think he bought last month, so we'll figure it out, Chris. Don't worry. You can email me directly, and we'll take care of you.
Yep.
I'm sending the email right now to to her assistant.
Perfect. Yeah. We'll take care of you, Chris. If anybody else has any questions, you can either unmute or put it in the chat. Don't be shy.
Actually, I do have a question. So the class for this month, would it be better to just do it next month, or how often do you take do the classes?
Let me put the dates back up. It wouldn't be until June. So if you are available, I would jump on it.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Yeah, Valerie.
That's how I was. I was like, oh, I can't make this one. I can't make that one. I was like, oh, no, I'm going.
Yeah, and it keeps getting pushed off. And the summer's tough if you have kids, you know, to get away. So if you can make it, get on out to April. We'd love to have you.
June. My son just had surgery, so I'm bound to the house for that. But so June 6th and 9th.
Yep. And they're all in Phoenix, right, Isabel?
They're all in Phoenix. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Will I get a confirmation email that will just give the dates so I can just go ahead and make that happen?
Yeah, either when you purchase, it's going to make you choose a date. I don't know how it's set up, or if not, if it doesn't make you choose a date, Krista will reach out, give you all the dates, and then you can choose from there.
Great.
I think she's going to reach out to you anyways right now about your situation.
Okay.
Okay. I have a question from Jen. What will be the ideal square footage of a home?
Great question. 300 to 500 square feet per resident is what you're going to want. So with 10 residents, minimum 3,000 square foot home, upwards of 5,000 would be very comfortable.
And then following that question, what is the minimum amount of bedrooms?
So most seniors are going to want a private bedroom, private bath, right? And each person within the home is going to be paying a different rate based on their level of care and their bedroom bathroom setup. So if they're in a shared bedroom with a shared bath, they're going to be paying a different rate than someone in a private bedroom with a private bath. So the more privates you have, the more income you're bringing in every single month. Now, I'm fully aware, you guys, that finding a 10-bed, 10-bath home on the market is near impossible unless we're looking at 50 cents home in Connecticut, okay? I know that these don't just normally exist. Typically, you're taking something that already has a large square footprint, maybe 5,000 or 6,000 square feet already, but it's only 5 or 6 bedroom bathroom, and now you're going to chop it up differently so that it has more bedrooms, bathrooms. That's typically what you'll find, or it's a home that's maybe 3,000 square feet and you're adding an addition. You know, those of you in Virginia and Maryland, you guys have a lot of properties that have nice chunks of land on them. So doing a big addition is something that you can do.
Oh yeah, I think Doug was asking that question. If you're not buying an existing facility, where or how do you find the 10-bedroom building or facility?
Yeah, there's kind of 4 ways to get started. So Valerie mentioned one, buying an existing one up and running. That is one way to get started. Another way is to lease a home to use for this. Someone else has already got it ready to go. You're going to lease it from them and get started. The next way is buying a single family and converting it to become. So maybe that's chopping it up differently or doing an addition. And the last way is buying land and building a ground up custom build.
Awesome. Edwin is asking, what are the requirements for a manager?
Great question. So every state varies a little bit, but it's not a nurse or a doctor or anything like that. It's a state test that they'll take. Some states it's as low as 2 hours. Some states it's as high as 140-hour requirement of, you know, background and expertise and this and that. But it's basically a license that you can get through your state. A lot of community colleges are adding this as a course that people can take and kind of get that trade, get that license. But it's typically some sort of background and experience as a caregiver, and then taking a test within your state is how you can get that administrator license or manager license.
Awesome. Oh yeah, Valerie was saying that it's always better to have a one-level home.
It is definitely preferred, because if you have a multi-level home, for example, that home that I showcased in New Jersey, cash flowing 40K a month, that's a 4-level home because he has a basement and then he has the main level and 2 levels on top of it. He added in a residential elevator. It cost him, it's typically between 30 and 50 grand. For him, it was right in the middle, about 40, 45-ish. But if he's making that back in 1 month, it's worth it, right? That it's a high fee, but it's going to come back pretty quickly. You don't want to have 4 or 5 chairlifts within the home. If it's a very small set of stairs or something like that, that could be different. But typically you'll want to add that, or keep it single level. Just keep it nice and easy, everybody on that same level.
Okay, awesome. I know some people are sending me private messages. Can I pay with 2 cards? Yes, if this is what you want, we will make it happen. There's an option to do PayPal, credit card, whatever you need. If this is what you want, I'll be happy to help you. So you can just send me a message or email me. Okay. Rhonda is asking, is there specialized homeowners insurance you have to get?
There are a lot of different insurances that you're going to get to protect you, like liability insurance, but homeowners, there's different companies that will recommend, but you may have a company that can easily cover this as well. It just depends. You just need to talk to them about the type of investment that you're doing.
On the state, because now that I'm a Floridian, then I had to change my understanding of insurance, but I rather pay a bigger insurance than have a water beautiful view than a view to cars in DC.
Yeah.
Okay, Edwin is asking, who do you recommend for LTC?
We don't necessarily, are you saying like if you personally want to get it, Edwin?
Edwin, you can unmute.
Because I don't necessarily I don't tell my clients, go get this. They usually have had it for 20 or 30 years. And they're coming to us saying, this is how we plan to pay for the care. So we don't, if they go get it, they may or may not qualify. You know, a 85-plus-year-old probably, it's very different. But if they've had it for 20 or 30 years, it's a way they can pay for their care.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, I was looking to see who like the long-term care insurance companies that are you guys work with, or you know that are reliable, or you know that you recommend.
So I was saying that that's a way that people can pay for their care needs. So we don't tell them go over here, or we don't work with them in that regard. A senior and their family comes in and we ask, how are you going to pay for this? Do you have long-term care insurance? Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it could be any company, whoever they have it with.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think we share, most of you know that Tom's dad is we're going through the process right now. And he was sitting with me a few minutes ago, my father-in-law. And yeah, we had to learn how either Medicare or other options, right? And thanks to our knowledge, our real estate knowledge, our estate planning knowledge, our connections, we did everything right, from his self-directed IRA, like all his investments. Like when we met with the attorney here in Florida, he said, you guys are not the usual client, because when they come here, they've already made a mess and I have to fix that mess. You guys, you have already done everything so good to not lose all their assets and then to let Medicare pay first now, and then whatever is left then will come out of them. So it's so what's the word? I'm just amazed how we have you as my speaker in April, and then we're exactly going through that.
Yeah.
And again, thanks to the knowledge that people like Jean and like you have provided, not only the Traction family, but us personally, we have done things the right way. So we're ready when it's time for him to go to memory care. So it's amazing. Very, what is the word? Serendipitous or something.
Yes.
I know, Chris, you were raising your hand. Go ahead, Chris.
All right. So I was going through I went through the online training already, and I was doing my competitive intelligence, looking at different areas. And so one of the things, just to kind of wrap my head around this concept of buying a company that already existed, they just want to get out of it. And I was playing around with it. And I said, first of all, I looked at the numbers and I said, okay, is it, well, when we're talking about the capital stack, is it easier to do terms on those large deals? Because that was one thing that you hammered home multiple times into the classes. The larger deals are just as easy to do as the smaller deals, so it really doesn't matter as long as the numbers work. And so, like, I'm looking at some of these deals, some of these larger facilities that were for sale. One was like for 6.2 million, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay. So there's that. And how would I, it's like, how would I approach that as far as looking at, would it be just something like, hey, what would be your terms for seller financing? Or how would I determine that ahead of time? Obviously, I'm going to need something a little bit as far as, like coaching or something like that. But just kind of wrapping my head around like how you would normally do a deal, say like a wholesaling deal, or you're doing, you're sitting in front of a regular real estate deal. What's the way that you would like determine those numbers?
Yeah, it's always going to range based on the deal you're looking at, what you can bring to the table. If you're working with private lenders, banks, whoever it is, the deal, how many seniors did they have in the home? 6.2. How many seniors?
It ranged. I didn't even get that far into it. I just kind of like the numbers about it. Like some of them, like where I noticed the location, like one thing chimed in that I've been aware of. I live in and work in two areas, or I travel, that is, in two areas that that senior assisted living, the larger, we'll say level 3 and level 4 are popping up in. Real nice. And then at least two big box chains have popped up on that direct path on a major thoroughfare. And I said, okay, so what are some of the houses in that area? And the houses are going for like $1 million. And I'm like, but it's not that big. And I'm like, how? I mean, like, I just trying to like look at when I was trying to like understand what it was that I'm looking at, because I know I'm looking at something that I didn't understand.
You've got to get a
if I'm making
whole lot
sense
more
now.
information first. So how many seniors, what are the rates, what are the occupancy, what are their staff? If is someone working in the home, not you, a ton of numbers. And then
Okay, so I need to be looking at, okay, all right. And then that's how I'll determine the numbers is really
because it should be like somewhere between 2 to 5 times the EBITDA is typically what the valuation would be. Obviously, if you're the seller, you want it higher. If you're the buyer, you want it lower. It's probably going to be somewhere around that 3 or 4, but somewhere in 2 to 5. And a lot of people, they work with a broker and the broker tells them some crazy number. And it's like, nope, that's not how we value these businesses. And you as the buyer has to explain that to them. You're the market, that this is not what this home is worth. And you're not going to get that. And this is a fair price. And this is what I'm willing to pay. And they may be upset with that. And that's okay. It's probably not the deal for you, or they'll come back a year later once it's been sitting on the market that long and, you know, they don't have anything. So it seems high because I don't have any of the other information. If I had all the other information, it might seem totally on track. I don't know.
Well, that's actually the question. I guess that was the answer that I was looking for was 2 to 3 times the EBITDA.
Yeah.
When I'm actually breaking down these deals, because I'm
2
like
to
looking at
5
the,
times. 2 to 5 times.
oh, 2 to 5 times. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm saying it
Uh,
typically falls in that 3 to 4, but it could be anywhere from 2 to 5 times.
Okay, that's really all I was looking for. It's like, how do I, because like in the DC, you can do a fix and flip and do a wholesale on something, and the house is like 700,000, and people are like, or $1 million in DC, and they're like, you're doing a wholesale deal for $1 million, and then it turns around and flips for like 2.5, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we've done
So
those.
we don't live in the land of quite right up here, so it is what it is.
Thanks, Isabel. Okay, thanks, Chris. I have a few more questions. Eric is asking, no, hold on. Oh, where did it go? Brian, can you explain what a preferred real estate provider is again? By the way, this is Dominic. Dominic, can you say hi? There you go. I know you have a little one, not as big as this guy, but I know. They all grow up with you learning real estate, going into renovations, dealing with people, and then the challenge, Isabel, is that they become amazing negotiators, and then they negotiate with you everything, like everything. Tommy is 15 and he's driving now, and trust me, there's the only bad thing about being an entrepreneur is that they are like that. But anyway, Eric, I know, what was it? Brian, can you explain what a preferred real estate provider is?
Yep. So I put it back up on the screen so you can see that there. Basically, you're going to purchase the home, renovate it, get it ready to go for assisted living. So whatever that means in your area, maybe you're adding bedrooms, bathrooms, guardrails, handrails, ramps, fire suppression, widening hallways and doorways, whatever it is, you can get the home all the way up basically to code, to spec, to everything that you need to get that stamp of approval for it. And then you're leasing it out to someone who's going to run the business within your home. Because technically you don't have a license. The home has a license, the administrator has a license, the caregiver has a license. So there's 3 licenses involved. So this person is getting that license on the physical home.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I see more people getting connected here. But again, as you said, I love, and we get that every month. Some people say, oh, I'll just go to YouTube and get all this information for free. Yes, you could, but 1, I don't know if it's good or not. And 2, who's going to be your support? Who's going to walk you through when it's actually happened? Just like Valerie, it didn't happen just because she just went on YouTube and called somebody. No, she had your training, your support. She knew what to ask for. She knew how to analyze things and then how to make it happen. Because maybe today you think, oh yeah, I can do that. Let me just call. There's a house here. I'll just go and then I'll do it myself. But then when something happens and they don't have that somebody next to them holding their hands, because that happens with a lot of our students.
Yeah.
They tell me, oh, no, I'll just do it. Or maybe when I do a few deals, maybe I'll sign up for your training. And then they come back, it's like, no, it's the opposite. I need your holding hand so I can get to that awesome deal without making mistakes. So, okay, let's see. I think, and again, people, we're not just saying this. If you want to get this at the special traction deal, you have to do it through us using that link. And that's good for today. Because if you want to wait until, I don't know, next month, next year, the offer might be there, but the price might not be there. So let me see. I think that's it. Isabel, is there anything else that you want to add?
I am so grateful for you guys. This was an awesome group. I love how collaborative you are. I'm excited to meet you, Chris, in person, and hopefully anybody else who took action. I'm excited to meet you all too. It's going to be awesome. And definitely we need more homes in the DMV area. I know there's some Florida people here too. And obviously Florida's incredible, but there's really a lack up in the northeastern part of our country. And there's so much potential up there It's tough to make single family investing work right now, and it's not tough to make RAL work. The numbers don't lie. It is right there for you. Our students up in the Northeast have much better cash flow than almost everybody else in the country. So it's pretty cool. I'm excited for you guys. I was excited to speak to this group because I used to live in Arlington and then Upper Marlboro. How do you say that?
Marlboro.
That is a tricky word for me. Both those areas for a minute. So it's near and dear to my heart, and I'm excited for you guys. I think that this is going to be an amazing group. I'm excited to see all the success come from it.
Awesome. Thank you again, Isabel. And again, take action now. Don't wait until next year, next month, next week. Take action now. There's a reason traction has the word action. It's a beautiful play on words because we encourage our members to just do that. Take action, even if it's starting your training, connecting with people, making it happen. But again, if you have the right coach, the right tools, the right person holding your hand, then you will succeed. That's what we always say at Traction. So, oh, here, one more. Jennifer, is there a money back guarantee? So tell us a bit about
I think the refund policy
yeah,
is
it's on the
site.
website.
Yeah.
But again, our refunds, we barely have anything because I will not sell anything that I have personally tried, the person and the company that I trust. So you're gonna be in great hands, Jennifer.
Yes. You click on it, Jennifer, the link, it will bring you right there to immediately the refund thing is right there, so you can see that.
But once you're in, you're gonna love them just as much as you love Traction, Jennifer. Then you're gonna love Isabel and family. Well, Isabel, I think that's it for now. I'm gonna put the link, and for everybody, I'll stay here for a few more minutes. Dominic and I will stay with you, people. If you have any particulars, like I want to use 2 credit cards, those type of things, I am happy to help you. This is what you want. We will make it happen. That is for certain. People say, oh, I don't have the exact amount. Don't worry. We will make it happen. You can use different cards. And I think that's it. Is there anything else, Dominic, that oh yeah, the virtual stamp. This is my virtual stamp for Traction REIA members. This counts as a meeting. So put on your frequent attendee card, just put April 18th, 24th, and then that will count as a meeting. Thank you again, Isabel. So good to see you online. I need to go back to Phoenix soon to give you guys a hug, and maybe I'll come into one of the trainings as well, because that I haven't done, the actual one in Phoenix. So thank you again. This was fantastic. How old is you have a son now, right? You have a baby boy?
4 months.
Oh, wow. And this is your first one?
My first, yes.
Oh, great. Well, I have 15 years on you. That's the only, you know everything about residential assisted living. I know about boys.
Yes, I love it.
Well,
nice to meet you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for being here today. We are finishing up the April Traction REIA meeting. Thank you for staying with us, for sharing your time with us. I will be on the line with any questions. And thank you so much. Dominic, can you say bye? Yes, you can say bye now. Whatever.
Bye-bye.
Bye.